I'm going to just get started right now. Felt really compelled to come outside. It's so beautiful outside. Today is, hello, September 4th. We're going into the Labor Day weekend. And instead of going through what the astrology reads are, I was really guided to just intuitively feel how I'm feeling, the energy. I hope you can hear me okay. Sorry. All right. The energy that I'm feeling and see what comes through. For all of us, we've been in some really interesting mixes of different elements that we've had to kind of swim through for a while, but it's getting heated here going into September. The way I feel it, the way I see it, the first week, possibly into the next week, is a little more laid back energy for some, sort of the calm before the storm. And I wanted to mention that this was brought to my attention by my son. Why has it been so challenging, and why are all of the planetary transits and the energy reads always, speaking about all of these challenges? That was a great question. And there are supportive energies that we also have amongst us. I feel like looking at the challenges to come was always helpful for me personally, to kind of get out ahead of what's coming, have an understanding of what's coming before it hits. And because of my earlier years in my awakening journey, that was probably the most traumatic for me, was just getting blindsided nonstop by people, places, things, and not having any idea what was happening. Am I crazy? Is there something wrong with me? That feeling of just despair and fear and loneliness was so horrific for me. When I finally got out of it and started to learn about the energy and started to read the energy and learned astrology, my eye always goes towards the challenges. My eye always goes towards the heavier energies that are coming, not only for me, but for all of us on the planet, to, not necessarily stay ahead of it, but emotionally get myself out ahead of it. So I'm not creating it, but I'm prepared inside of myself. I'm prepared mentally, emotionally, physically for whatever is coming my way or our way. So I can stay grounded, so that I can stay conscious and just observing more so than reacting to a lot of it, because that's usually the initial instinct for us all, is to react to things that are challenging or even traumatic, with good reason. We are emotional people, emotional creatures, beings. But yeah, and I still go through the waves myself. So it's not, even though I can tap in and read energy, and it is helpful, I am human and I live here with all of you, and we all know how challenging that can be at times. So it is good to have a little bit of an idea of what is building or culminating within the energy. Nobody can really predict exactly, but when I do tap into different energy streams, I see them as streams of energy that are giving important communication, that's when things shift within me, because it's kind of removing me and my ego. Because honestly, before I get on to do any of these lives, I get a really big sense of nervousness, anxiety, self-doubt, you know, all of those things. And it isn't until I, you know, calm that down and really sit down in a more meditative state before I hit, you know, go, or whatever the button is, go live. I'm in tune now with a bigger part of me, a bigger part of all of us, and it's very helpful. But, you know, the other part of me, the egoic part of me, still gets nervous with no reason anymore. So, you know, it's interesting how we're learning about ourselves. You know, why is that? Why do I get nervous? All right. How are you guys doing? After, I don't know where everybody's from, but here in Pennsylvania, we got hit pretty hard with that last storm, Ida. And where I live, we have two streams that cross each other, which turned into just one giant raging river. And it was pretty exciting and kind of horrifying at the same time. There are some people that live on my street that had some severe flooding, and our road is now closed except for you know, people that live here. So it's been nice and quiet. I'm actually, you know, there's always something, a plus that comes out of something bad. Yeah, good, bad, that's all relative. There's always, you know, a silver lining or something that appears after something that seems to be taking something away from you. So for us here, definitely that, you know, having the road closed, the bridge out, is inconvenient. We have to go around the long way, and, you know, that kind of things. And these things take time, sometimes in Pennsylvania, years to repair. But then the flip side is that the weather has cooled down. I opened up my windows and I can hear the creek. I can hear the water going by at night. I don't hear any cars going by anymore. And that is really, really nice. Really nice. So that's the plus side to some mass destruction from weather and things. I mean, these things happen. So anyway, let's get into the reading and see what comes through for good morning. How are you guys doing? How is everybody doing? Has everybody weathered all these crazy storms? I feel like there's more to come, but we'll be pros at it before long, I think. But I hope everybody, you know, is doing okay. We were without power for a little while, but it actually came on several days earlier than the electric company, than Pico, was telling us. We weren't supposed to have our power back on until this Sunday at best, this Sunday or in the following week. So with it coming back on sooner was definitely a nice surprise, because we don't have a generator and they're kind of hard to find around here these days with so many people without power. But anyway, okay, let's get into see what comes through for the collective. Beautiful day out here today. Can you see my Buddha head back on the hill? Get to wake up to Buddha every morning. All right, accelerated motion, and I'm being guided to really slow this reading down. We are good. We haven't gotten any storms yet. Oh, extremely hot. Yeah, we just got the flip. Yeah, I have a sweater on. It's got chilly here, but not bad, just like it's fall. I don't know, summer just flew by, unfortunately. I feel like it's not over yet, but. Okay, back to the cards. And I'm guided to really slow down my pace at reading these cards. So the card that came out first is accelerated motion. And I'm feeling this in my solar plexus right now and throat chakra, because the energy has been speeding up. Time has been speeding up, or what we perceive as time. And this has been happening for many, many years. I believe it started, I don't know exactly when it started, but around 2012. And then slowly, you know, it wasn't anything super noticeable, although I noticed it. Over time, it sped up faster, 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 faster. So we were just never feeling, or like myself personally, could not feel like we had any time left for ourselves or time left to enjoy the enjoyable parts of life. And, you know, a lot of people are still probably feeling this, you know, very chaotic energy and just spinning the wheels. Everything is just going faster, faster, faster. Now, when we started the lockdowns here last year, it slowed the pace down extremely for all of us human beings. But in the mind and in the emotions and all of the other energy fields, we were still speeding, and anxiety and restlessness, just complete restlessness. And this is still happening for a lot of people. The energy is in an accelerated motion. What I'm also getting, and I can attest to this, manifestation. So our perception to what we actually create based off of our thoughts, patterns, and our beliefs and our strong feelings in the heart, connected, that whole connection is what the energy that creates. And in the past, it would take several weeks, several months, sometimes several years to actually see the manifestation. And at that point in time, there was so many other unfolding fractals and pieces that also would happen. And so a lot of people just assumed, you know, logically, oh, what a coincidence, you know, and there are no coincidences. But not fully realizing that they actually created something, but more or less thinking that, oh, that's such a coincidence. Nowadays, we are seeing and experiencing a lot faster manifestations, sometimes instant. The smaller energy, as if you think of somebody, and like all of a sudden somebody like pops into your mind and then they call you, things like that. But this is going to continue to accelerate. So what we think, what we believe, our thought patterns and our belief patterns, and how we feel about them, and whatever it is that you're experiencing at that time was actually created in the past because of manifestation. It's not instant, but it's starting to speed up faster and faster and faster for us all. So if you're noticing certain things that you're creating, like showing up, appearing, people calling you up, or just appearing in your life somehow, or things, or whatever, you know, we can manifest anything. This is why. This is because of the energy shift and the appearance of time speeding up. But really, it's the energy that's speeding up. It's higher frequency energies that mostly coming from the sun. And I'm also prompted to let everybody know, if you're not aware, some people do follow the space weather news or suspicious observers. I like to check in with both of those on a daily if I can. Don't always, it's not always that way, but We had some pretty big solar flares come off of the sun, and it's been a little over a week now, bringing geomagnetic storms to Earth, and it takes a few days. It's typically like 3 to 4 days, I think. Don't quote me on that. To actually get to Earth for us to experience or sense or feel. And it usually will like really wreak havoc on our satellite system. So, you know, internet connection or all of those, like there's a lot of wacky satellite things going on, but at the same time, us humans, and it depends, everybody's different. Some people will experience like headaches, really bad headaches. I will get a pain in the back of my head, typically when it first starts, but then I'm pretty acclimated to that energy. But anyway, they came in some waves, and I'm not sure if that part's over with or not. Oh, there will always be solar flares, you know, these waves. The waves then, you know, it takes a while to get from the sun to the earth, but when they do, they're considered a geomagnetic storm. And it, you know, messes with our electromagnetic field around the earth. It does a lot of things that, you know, a lot of people should really be aware of. And there are a lot of good scientific websites and channels that you can check out on a regular basis. And Suspicious Observers is one that I would recommend. But anyway, neither here nor there. We're in an accelerated motion of energy, and it will continue to accelerate and speed up over time. I can't exactly say as to how long. We also have the Earth tilted on its axis slightly. The sun also tilted. We have a lot of shifts in our energy fields, both in our human bodies and the Earth itself. So we feel that, along with just all the chaos that seems to be happening all the time around us. And if any of you are like me, I read, I feel, I sense collective energy, always have. And, you know, used to make me feel like I was completely, like there was no hope for me here. But when I realized that there were other people that are understanding of this too, it was much more comforting. And then I started to really learn about and discover how I do this, like, you know, and what can I do to help myself when the collective field is in complete and utter chaos. And yeah, there's a lot. It's really hard in the beginning when you're not aware, and you're not understanding why you feel the way you feel, because it's not really yours, but it feels like it is. And so you're just like, what is wrong with me? Why am I feeling? Why can't I just relax? Or why can't I just enjoy this moment? And you're constantly getting pulled out of it by different energy waves. And it's very, I'm going to do a video on that, separate, based off of my experience. That's all I can really talk about anyway. Okay, what else? Let's see. Oh, this might be a long reading, who knows? Okay. Oh, okay. So the next two that came out is partnerships and alliances and power. And well, this is another strong message coming through for us all, that at this point in time we do have at least one connection, hopefully a few, that we can relate to on an energetic level. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree full-heartedly in every aspect of life, but have an open mind to basically anything, because then you're sort of free to all kinds of experiences. But anyway, these connections are important, and going into the near future, it actually will be imperative that we build alliances with these connections, partnerships of some sort, even if it's just for emotional support I'm getting. But because power came out along with it, there's power in the energy of numbers. There's increased power in the energy of more than one who is connected to their higher source. Extremely powerful, I'm getting. And it really is. When there are two or more people that connect with a higher connection at the same time, that power just, anything evil, dark, and I've experienced this myself, so I'm here to tell you, it just kind of runs away. Most of the time, it will first challenge, because it feels very, and I call it as an energy, but take it as you will, as feeling defensive and needing to dominate the energy as darker energy needs to. The first thing that it will do is challenge you. But if your energy is tapped in and there are more than one of you, it's not even really going to be a challenge. You can kind of like, or take a breath or chuckle inside, but just remain very present and strong in your knowing and your self-conviction inside your heart. And keeping the heart open, understanding that energy, I say it's just energy. Energy's powerful. How do we say? It's finally transmuting that energy. So there's two different ways of going about dissolving. You can't really dissolve energy, but you can push it to somewhere else. And, that's not the greatest practice, but it is a good practice just for boundary purposes. But when you have this power in the numbers, and it's not an aggressive power. It's a power of truth and knowledge and wisdom, ancient wisdom, that can transmute that energy, meaning you take that energy, that emotion that you feel, and you turn it into something more in the positive. For example, and this one's pretty bad, so and I don't want to give any names or anything, but so somebody comes to me and tells me, and this is a true story, that they had just found out that somebody that they had worked with had just been convicted of a really horrific crime towards a young girl, third grader. So there was molestation involved. And this person was so traumatized by hearing the story and couldn't remove that feeling from her energy, from it, like it just was there. And my first gut, like the first thing, and it's not even thinking when I speak, but I said it's a good thing that this child spoke up for herself and was believed, was heard, and now she can get the help that she needs, instead of not being heard or not speaking up and going through a long, teenage to adult life with this very heavy weight in them, which, speaking from experience, really creates a very difficult life and really challenges how you form relationships going forward. So to have the help now as a young child, as horrific as it is, it happened. It's in the past. So we have to transmute that energy into something more positive. And that's how I did it. That's just an example of transmutation, transmuting an energy from a negative to a positive. Whew, this is getting a deep, this is deep, 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 deep. Okay, let's see what else comes through. I like reading out here. It feels really good. I typically didn't before because we always had traffic and cars going by and it's so loud. But not anymore, not for a while anyway. Positive movement forward. I'm also getting, with the understanding of the energy frequencies accelerating, energy's accelerating. Time feels like it's accelerating because of that. And you will see, I mean, yes, with the seasons, our days get shorter and whatnot, but do this as an example for yourself, because one day may seem like it takes a long time to get through that day, and then another day it just speeds up like that. It's in a spot in the brain too, it's in perception, but there are other things going on at the same time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. With the accelerated energy, with increased frequencies coming in mostly from the sun, but many other factors at play there too. We have at least, and what I'm getting is that this has culminated over the last 2 years. There's somebody who has either come into your life, come back into your life, somebody that you can form a partnership, an alliance with, even if it's just for emotional support in the beginning. This is combining that energy, which is amping up the power, amping up your positive energy, reinforcing it. And this brings that positive movement forward. So in other words, really, don't hold back at this point in time. If you're feeling called to do something maybe you never done before, or you're not, feeling a whole lot of confidence in yourself right now because it's still new to you, we need everybody to step up and be brave. It really isn't, you'll find it wasn't as hard as I thought. Like I said, every time I go to do a live, I get this feeling of nervousness and stuff. But as soon as I push the button and, I meditate, bring my energy back, and it's different. And then here I am, and it's no big deal. but anyway, it's time. It's time to come together, and you will know whatever it is that you're being really called to say, do, you'll know. So just go for it. I'm getting, there is also going to be supportive energies supporting this as well, that positive movement forward. Okay, bottom of the deck is passion ignited. That's what I was just talking about. So you're going to feel a passion, a pull. Something is going to be calling to a lot of you. Now I'm getting most of you. And this will come together. This is just kind of speeding up the process. Sometimes we do need a little nudge or push. I think I got a kick. No, I'm kidding. Here now and then we get a smack against the head. Let's see what else for the collective wants to come out before I go into the zodiac here. Hi. Oh, good. We got a good bunch on here today. Hope everybody's weathered the storms. They were quite intense. I don't know the exact amount because I live by 2 creeks that just turned into, like I said, raging rivers. But the last I heard, we had well over 10 inches of rain in one fell swoop. I don't know what that exact number is, but on my road, we have several trees down and a telephone pole missing. Well, I think it's down at the next bridge, wedged into that bridge. We have a lot of damage. And the town of Downingtown here and surrounding towns that are in a valley, yeah, not a good location for town, completely underwater. Parts of Philadelphia completely underwater. It's a mess. It's really it's a nasty mess, but you know, thankfully the weather cooled down. We're in the I think today our high is 72, which is nice, but it's kind of like sweater weather. All right, let's get back to the collective here. What else? 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Oh, this is just, okay. This is speaking the same. Let's keep going. So, you know, there has been work that we've been working on ourselves. There are things that we've been doing, adjustments we've been making for ourselves, trying to even balance our consciousness. You know, sometimes it's really hard to like snap out of the 3rd dimensional mundane world, especially if you're surrounded by people who just want to constantly talk about what's on the news. Oh, okay, all that came out. Ugh. Yes. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna stop here for a moment. Yeah. So where was I? With consciousness. Yeah. So sometimes you kind of get sucked down into somebody else's story, or, you know, yeah, you kind of like get pulled into other stuff, or even just the news. I suggest watching that a lot. I've seen it just make people go completely bonkers lately. So anyway, we're doing a lot of work. Sometimes, you know, there's no such thing as perfection. It's like swimming. You know, sometimes we go down a little too deep and we got to come back up for air, but you got to keep swimming. So we've been doing a lot of work. That's for sure. Now it's time to combine what you've been physically, I'm getting, changing in your life. It could be just, you know, habits, whatever, patterns that you realize aren't really working for you anymore. They're actually pulling your energy down, pulling you down. Maybe it's just like unhealthy eating, or, you know, watching too much TV, or on the computer too much, just over stressing yourself out. So finding that nice balance there. Now it is time to connect with the others that you connect with. But before you connect with another person, you want to connect with your higher self, mind, body, soul. Then we have that power. We have that increased power. It has been, you know, we've been in a long period of adjustments, energetically, emotionally. There are a lot of situations still kind of wrapping up. We're wrapping a lot of karmic cycles up, leading up to this new moon on Sunday, the 6th. So just in 2 days. Very powerful new moon coming up. So this is kind of a period of contemplation, going probably back from like the past to the present to the future, maybe talking with other people. It could be kind of bored even. I know for myself, I have to talk myself down from the FOMO. Sometimes I just feel like I want to have fun. Where are all the people? When's there something to do? And then I realize, oh, yeah, I got to create that for myself too. And usually that happens once I'm like fun to myself, by myself, then the fun appears. But it's kind of a avoided energetic phase of just even processing what may have just happened or recently happened. Maybe getting a little more details, a little more information, maybe in your dreams coming in. So it's just like processing that all around. But that brings you back out to the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is kind of a period of mini celebration. Like I made it up out of this Nine of Swords is the next one, fear-based place that I was in my head, and I feel better and a fresh start. I think this new moon is bringing a lot of newness. So we're still wrapping up a lot of the old karmic lessons that we've all signed up to learn here. Even though I always say I don't remember signing up for this. We did. So this is kind of your at that point where you feel more grounded within yourself too. Ready to take on whatever life brings your way again, which is good. I'm going to get a little bit more on the Nine of Swords, Three of Swords. Okay. The Tower. Woo. So this might be playing out this week. It may have played out the prior week. It might, play out after the new moon for some. Okay, yeah. But we've got somebody that's in their head way too much and just cannot release these fear-based thoughts. These life is challenging. It's grim. It's people are mean, and just all of these. Every wound you ever had, all the taunting and teasing and the bullies, it's all like swirling around, and the heartbreak, the deception, the deceit, the lies. The Tower. It's all coming up. It's all brewing to the point where then it just explodes. It can actually explode as like an event. Uranus is still very, very active, and that is unexpected events, upheaval, things coming apart, things blowing up. This could be within the emotional field. It doesn't really mean literally blowing up, although that can happen too. This energy has been held in. Ugh, I feel it already. I feel it in my throat chakra. This energy's been held in, but not talked about, not released. That's what happens when we don't take those deeper dives within ourselves and we keep the emotions down inside. They reappear. It's a nightmare. It just over and over and over again, and you reenact it with other people. It comes out of nowhere. So this is what a lot of people have been experiencing, will be experiencing. But the nice thing about that is when you come out from that, you are ready for a fresh start, to start a new chapter in your life with some newfound wisdom. This is the Hierophant back in here in this picture, in this card. And the Hierophant is our wisdom, our ancient wisdom and knowledge, and shedding of old beliefs, old, antiquated, and getting even religious, certain things that have been programmed in you from your ancestors, from different, all kinds of different places. Let's just put it there. I'm not going to point the finger at where it comes from. We all know. But it's being revealed. And it's helping you dissolve that part of yourself and start a new chapter in life, a new path, a new way of being. Because this is what's coming out from all of that darkness, the realization, and being shown from your higher self, or from an angel, or from a person. It could be, the energy could be playing through a person, but it's still coming from a higher place of where these thoughts had kept you from love, and just, I'm getting complete joy, happiness, and feeling appreciation for life in general. So that's where it's headed. Bottom of the deck is Ace of Swords. This is the card, my card of truth. This is deep truth, deep inner truth coming up, being revealed, being shown. Oh, and fast, and ready to make a change because of this. Like instant. It may instantly change you, and you might not know why, but it's kind of a refreshing change I'm getting. So that was collective, and that was deep, but I felt that. I felt that whole thing. So let's shake it up a little bit here and go into the fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. My lips are chapped. I keep licking my lips dry. Or dry, actually. So what's going on with the fire signs? Aries, Leo, and Sag. I think the moon's in Leo still right now. Pretty sure. Aries, Leo, and Sag. Messages for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The World. The World card is a card of adjustment, change after a long cycle of, could be discord, but it's integrating. It's taking all that you've learned about yourself, about others, about life, and really integrating it, Knight of Emotions, into your daily way of feeling about things and life itself. It's not going back to the same robotic, repetitive motions day after day after day. It's, okay, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to change the direction my life is headed. So I have to change the direction of my thinking and the way I feel. That's that integration. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Two of Inspiration. And really analyzing, self-analyzing more, really taking that telescope out and wanting to see, what else have I missed in life? What do I need to know about myself? It's a start. It's where we all have to start. Floor of inspiration. And where do I feel at home? I'm getting very strongly. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sag. This is what you're analyzing right now. You know, what feels more comfortable to me? Where do I feel at home? Who do I feel at home with? Because that's what you want to surround yourself with. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. And the Star. That is what is this. When you discover what is your true north, your true being, authentically, where you feel the most comfortable and who you feel the most comfortable with, surround yourself in that, and this will start the healing process in a much stronger way. Or this is what you're currently experiencing. It helps you release the past, release the people or circumstances or places that you had been in where you did not feel like you belonged, and you did not feel like you could connect to anybody or anything, for a reason. That's the world. That's what you need to take, that understanding and that wisdom now, and integrate it into your daily life. Make those physical changes for yourself. Anything else for the fire signs? Okay. Five of inspiration, Ace of voices. So what will be or has been inspiring you to take this deeper look at yourself and your life and your surroundings is you caught the resonance of many different reflections of people reflecting back to you something that you do not care to feel or experience again. And that actually showed you deeper, I'm getting deeper, where that feeling came from. And that is the release. That is the release, and it's you surround yourself with who and what feels like home to you. This is going to help you release all of that other stuff and heal. Bottom of the deck, I got the chills from that, fire signs. Bottom of the deck, Ace of voices. So this is a new start in your mind, in your way of perceiving your life, yourself, and your surroundings. And it's very colorful. You're ready to let go of that, or you will be if you're not there yet, to let go of the past and whatever was didn't feel so good. It was dense. I'm getting dense. Could be dark and dense. Okay, let's go into earth signs next. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. You guys hear me okay? It's kind of hard to tell. Got cicadas going and birds. It's so nice outside though. and the stream across the street. All right, earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Wow, all right. Page of Materials and Death came right out. So this is a fresh new start. Something is, the old is dying, I'm getting. You're in the process of a rebirth. Seven of Voices. A process of your perception is shifting. I'll show you the cards in a minute. Knight of Materials. This has been a long, drawn out cycle for you earth signs. I'm getting it's probably your Pluto. Well, we also have Neptune and Mars. There's a lot of big, personal planets and the bigger planets hitting us all right now. And so these have been, and I was explaining to someone before how these transformations happen. It doesn't happen all at once. I mean, well, some of us can have those really abrupt transformations, but even then, it still takes a while to get acclimated into the new perception and new way of living and being, although it's not as, I mean, it's abrupt and traumatic at first, but it's easier to then ease into a new life, whereas if it's a slow, arduous process, stripping one layer of a wound away at a time per cycle, and the cycles had been drawn out for a long, probably your entire life, earth signs. I'm getting your entire life, layer by layer by layer by layer. So this is another layer. It's a big layer I'm getting of the old mask, the old let's keep going. Okay, it's what has your, I was just gonna say, it's what has your vision, your mind's eye, your intuitive eye clouded a lot, is getting stripped away from you. As they say, the veil is thinning. Let's keep going, earth signs. This one's getting interesting. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Very interesting. Nine of Inspiration. Yeah, you've had such a wall up, earth signs. Barriers, boundaries. You may even talk about these boundaries, but they kept you stagnant, stuck in one place, not able to evolve out of it within, everything. Relationships I'm getting for the earth signs specifically, with just anybody, anything, with yourself. Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Ooh, I'm feeling this really strongly in my throat chakra. There's some kind of truth. Deep. Phew. Oh yeah. There's some kind of deep truth. Maybe it's been hidden from, maybe you hid it from yourself. It's probably such a deep wound you did hide it from yourself. That now you're being shown, but at the same time it's causing this inquisitive nature. You suddenly do want to learn more about this. Understand your higher self has come down in some form. Could be through another person, event, could be in your dream, showing you something about yourself. Something big I'm getting, because it's what you have created your life around. Let's keep going with that, because I feel like this is a big lesson, Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Yeah, because what's the Magician? Can I get more on the Magician? This could be a heavy period for you right now, Earth signs. Ah, Hierophant. Ah, yes. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm just going to say right now, Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Bottom of the deck for you is also the Ace of Voices, which was the same for the fire signs. The sun's below that. So this is the beginning. You may be experiencing this now or through this transit. The beginning phases of seeing things in a new light. Seeing a lot more of the color in life and in yourself and in others. Maybe others that maybe others that you've pushed away with being defensive and boundaries not all the way opening up to connections that were deep that you push away because of the fear of having that heart open all the time. It will change you, and then all the others will see you differently. I'm getting for somebody specifically, but this is a new start for you, a new beginning, a new cycle, Earth signs, and this is a massive purging. It is a transformation. It's a death and a rebirth of you and your life and the way that you see life, instead of seeing life because you flip-flop. I'm getting sometimes you see a situation kind of more lightheartedly, or you see it in more of a divine light, and then other times it is just dark and it's just mind games and trickery. I'm getting this is, you've been going through this layer by layer by layer, and cycle by cycle by cycle, over and over and over and over again, in different ways, in different layers. So each time you get through to another layer, you feel like, aha, I made it. I get it, I see. But then it starts all over again. This talks about painful endings, or ending the pain. This could be, basically both, two sides of the same coin. But whatever it is, this is releasing your painful past fully, not holding on to it as a source of armor. I'm getting, because what that perception, your foggy perception on situations specifically related to the heart, I'm getting, wasn't allowing you to see things clearly from a higher perspective, and you just got right into the wound and right into the trigger, right into the replaying. I'm getting replaying the wound, right into the fear, the anger, the despair, the sadness, the sorrow, and then you push it away. You distract yourself from it, so you don't even get to see why it's happening in the first place, so that you can release it. So this plays over and over and over and over and over again. It's because you built these fortress walls around you that may have started off as good intention, as boundaries from, being hurt, being triggered, not going to do that anymore. I'm going to put up a bound. I know this very well. This was a good portion of my life too, earth signs. But you build such a wall up that you're not letting anybody in. Nobody can get in. So now you kind of feel left alone. You feel like you can't connect fully to somebody, I'm getting, which is then put you into a place where you want to see more of yourself and your situations than what you have been looking at. You want to get your telescope out and see what you weren't seeing before. And your higher self is helping you, assisting you with that, showing you, where you've been and who you are and who you are becoming. The Magician. What are you creating for yourself? Because this is based off of all of this stuff that is coming up and brewing around inside of us, that's getting shown to us so we can release it, so we don't recreate it again and again and again and again. And this is what you're understanding finally, the Hierophant. With the Hierophant, this is your ancient wisdom that's coming to you, earth signs. Whoa. I get so thirsty when I channel those messages. That is for Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, and very specific messages. These messages are general. Sometimes I get hit with a very strong, this is a message for somebody, but take what resonates for you and leave the rest, because and if you don't resonate with it, maybe listen to another one of the other elements, because they're all at play right now within us and around us. All right, let's go to air signs next. And I have to give it, I have to give props to a lot of the readers out there who read cards on a daily basis, and sometimes all day, but it seems like they produce a lot of videos, and I just don't even know how they do it, because channeling energy while reading cards, as great and fun as it is, it really can drain you, and that's where we have to take especially good care of our energy when you're tapping into other energy streams. So it is not something that one would do purely out of ego. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but the ones that you resonate, I resonate with, we resonate with, are tapping into these same energy streams, and it is powerful energy. It can take a toll on the body if we don't take care of ourselves. And I don't think that a lot of people fully understand, another video I want to do, fully understand what is involved and, what the give and take is there. Because it's a lot more than, throat chakra, it's a lot more than one would think. So I want to give props to everybody out there who is an energy reader of any sort, especially in the energy we're in today. Not just today, but these days, because it's pretty intense and wacky. Anyway, let's go on to air signs next. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. What's coming through for air signs? 8 of Emotions. First card out. Walking away from, the darker emotions. Walking away from that sadness, anger, rage even. Dark thoughts. Dark feelings. Okay, let's keep going. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Some messages for the air signs. I'm also getting eclipse energy from this card, which we're still experiencing things from the last few eclipses. Okay, I'm going to keep going here for a minute. I have air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Beautiful. Anything else? Air signs, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And Geminis typically experience a lot of duality within themselves, so they experience a lot of duality in their lives, whether they want to partake in it or not. It's in their nature to understand it. That's just my experiences with the Geminis in my life, but also something that I'm learning about different archetypes, zodiacal archetypes. Oh, okay, are we taking that or not? All right. Anything else? Air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Yeah. Yep. Anything else? All right, I think this one's at a wrap, but all right. Oh, let me keep going. Oh. All right, anything else? Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Oh my goodness, my throat chakra. All right. Whoa. Okay. Air signs, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. It is the bottom of the deck, overall energy. Is messages about your feelings of being stuck or trapped or stuck in where there is like darker energy around you, maybe, or you just don't know how to get out of this. You can kind of see that there is light, but you're not sure how to get out of it all the way, or you hadn't been because, and again, time is irrelevant really here, but I'm picking up that, over the course of the last entire lunar cycle, this has been the experience, which just culminates and builds, and you may still be experiencing this, or you may be experiencing this after the new moon. Everybody's different. Air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. So yeah, eclipsing out. I'm getting walking away from the darker, that feeling of feeling stuck. Don't know what to do. Hierophant came out with that. So this could be one of two things. This could also be walking away from old beliefs, things you used to believe or were just programmed in you that you just kind of thought were the way of life. Leaving that stuff behind too, with some newfound understanding, which has really helped you kind of clear your mind, free your mind. I'm getting that song, free your mind and the rest will follow. Yeah, free your mind and the rest will follow, because before this, or what it's getting you out of, is a nightmare, is anxiety, stress, just overthinking, overanalyzing. So clearing that away and really inspiring you to shift your focus onto what feels good, what feels right, what feels at home to you. And this is all the sacral and solar plexus chakra, our creativity and our confidence, our self-confidence. So this is building, and with the help of your connections with others and your connection to your higher self, mind, body, soul, this is what's really helping you, inspire you to enjoy every moment of life and shine your self, you know, your silly self. I'm getting. But at the same time, you know, you're picking up on things you hadn't seen before. I'm getting air signs. And you're realizing that there's not an equal balance in situations for you. I think you're realizing that you're overdoing, overgiving, doing too much for others that is unnecessary. It's draining you. It's draining you, and it's it brings you to a point, and I understand this energy. This was one of my life tests back in the day. Brings you to this point of being angry and bitter, because you're doing this stuff out of your good nature, your good heart, but then it just gets taken advantage of, and you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, because there's a deeper part of that. There is the devil. There are strings attached to that. There's something that you're going to be learning or started to learn about your subconscious and your inner child. Maybe just as an example, maybe you had parents that fought, or you know, one fought with the other. Whatever it was in your household as a child, it didn't feel good, and so you would do a lot of things to try to help the energy calm down. And that this is just an example, but whatever it is a childhood wound, a pattern of yours that has you doing way too much for others, not receiving in return, which then brings this anger and bitterness, this cold way of feeling and being. And so you're getting a deeper look at that and walking away from it. I think you're starting to see it, whatever it is for you, which then releases you to more of your childlike wonder in life. Thinking back, if you do reflect back on the past, bringing up good memories, what feels good, what feels like playfulness, what feels like what you actually truly value. I'm getting, you know, what is it that you truly value is coming up. More important. What's more important than this, you know, these people that I just keep giving to, and they don't care, they don't even notice, they don't even say thank you anymore, and I'm just over it. Air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. So that is your process. We've all been there, and if you haven't, you will be eventually. I think we all have like these certain things we have to learn about ourselves. Sometimes we're the giver, sometimes we're the taker. It's interesting. This game of life is very interesting. Last but not least, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's see what comes out for the water signs during this new moon phase coming up to, it's not on Sunday, it's on Monday, the 6th, the new moon. All right. Last shuffle, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right. What's going on with the water signs in this energy? 5 of inspiration. That's that reflection, inner reflection, seeing parts of yourself through situation, your past even. The Empress. Yeah, they're usually birthing something new, cosmic. This is interesting. 7 of emotion. You might be a little confused right now, water signs, or there may be too many different options to choose from, and it's causing some confusion. But nothing to worry about. I think I got them all. Nothing to be concerned about. I'll show you the cards in a minute. All right, let's keep going. 6 of emotions. Yeah, I'm picking up. This is a nice reading. Let's keep going though. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. 9 of materials. All right. And the Sun. Beautiful. Bottom of the deck. For the water signs. I like this reading. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of inspiration. The Lovers below that. Unity. Unity within self. Unity within maybe another connection. Still always starts with self. But anyway. Water signs, you've been asked to be patient and slow down. Allow the pieces to fall into place, if you will, in your life. So what I'm getting is, oh, and this keeps coming back to me over and over again. Your path forward has not yet been created. So this is kind of a voided period for the water signs in a way. A time to let all the other pieces fall into place. I'm getting. Meanwhile, we always get to pick up on the inner reflections, meaning different things that remind us of or trigger parts in ourselves that we need to release, or at least be aware of, and then release. I'm getting. Wow. This is a time for the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You are full of this cosmic knowledge that just is pouring out of you, this light, this energy. And you're finally starting to really allow it to flow, your magic. It also requires your heart open, your motherly, I'm getting. Not that you're a mother, you could be a man. This could be your nurturing, compassionate, thank you, compassionate nature within you. So that's beautiful. That's a good energy flow. The Empress. The Empress is typically in the old standard tarot is pregnant. So very ready to birth something new. Has not birthed it yet because the path has not yet been created. Interesting, water signs. Okay. Makes sense with the 3 of inspiration too, right? We have to allow all the other pieces to fall into place. All the other people to wake up and the characters to change their costume. I don't know. Things have to shift. So we work on ourselves. We work on whatever's left that we see. You know, this could just be something silly with it, or you think it's silly, but it might, you know. There's always, there's never a bad time to work on the self, to free yourself, free your mind. What I'm getting here is a couple of different things. There are other fish in the sea. Yes, there are. And you've been looking around. There may be too many options, or nothing really seems like it is that you trust it even, or just doesn't seem. And this doesn't have to be, you know, a person. This could just be an opportunity in general. You're kind of just waiting. I'm getting. waiting, and sensing or realizing what really feels right for you, where you can completely just be yourself authentically. It feels like home. Whom is around you and what your environment is, what your experience is. You want it to feel right to you. And you want to be able to finally just be a kid again at heart and have that playful energy. Not that you don't care about things, but it's so much better to go through life just with childlike wonder than looking around your corner for like, what next, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. So this is a kind of a shift in perspective, you know. But it's all about what feels comfortable, what you really value, and feel is a necessity for your comfort level, and brings out the happiest, joyous parts within you. So these are the things that are playing out for the water signs right now. You're kind of just waiting for the rest of the pieces to fall into place. And I know I'm a water sign. I understand that patience is a virtue, they say. It can be a challenge as well. But I think, you know, all good things come to those who wait. Why am I speaking in these parables? All right, well, that's for the zodiac. I'll pull a couple of these secret language of the animals oracle cards to wrap up the reading for today. And I might just stay out here and shoot some informative videos for you guys. I'm gonna put them up on my YouTube channel, but I will put a link at the bottom of them as well, as long as Uranus allows me to upload videos. I have a lot of, well, we didn't even have electricity for a while, so I've been having a lot of electronic, not even electronic, I think it's just internet issues, uploading videos, downloading videos. You know, satellites really whacked out from that geomagnetic storm. All right, advice for the collective. We have Python. Discernment, detachment, transformation, renewal. I'm sorry, I just burped, excuse me. Yeah, so you know the Python, he sits, this is kind of a spin-off from the water signs reading. He sits, he doesn't go hunting for his dinner. He sits very patiently, and he uses his discernment. He doesn't just eat anything. He's detached from the outcome. If he misses something, there'll be another one coming by. He has that faith. He just knows. They shed their skin regularly, so that is a transformation and a renewal. But I'm going to read from the book because I'm getting there's something a little stronger in here. So the Python. Alrighty. The Python silently enters your world to open the way to deep transformation and renewal. She calls forth the full realization of your dreams, not through exerted effort and chasing, but through quiet mastery of one of your greatest creative powers, intention. Take time to listen closely to the ancient calling of your soul. Clarify what you really want and allow this vision to ignite a fire of new possibility within you. Nothing renews our spirit more powerfully than the awakening of a dream. Bold visions dissolve past perception of the possible and awaken within you a whole new way of being. Resist the temptation to rush off, sharing this new dream with others or wasting your energy chasing after it. Take time instead to allow the embers of your desire to grow inside, harvesting the energy of your vision, calling it closer to you. With Python's ancient knowing finely attuned to the rhythms of life, she will help you sense when it is time to act, and to do so with great assertive power and accuracy. She can assist you to be patient and calm, but to seize the moment with great power when it matters most. Maintain focus, but don't let your idea of how you think things are supposed to happen stop you from seeing what emerges before you. Letting go of your attachment to both past and future outcomes will give you an ability to feel the pulse of highest possibility and follow the energy of the moment. Be willing to look into the shadows, to see beyond the surface of your circumstance into deeper truths and higher gifts this moment brings to you. And the mantra for the Python is, I release the past to awaken the new. I see my world through the eyes of who I am becoming. Well, I would say that's a pretty strong message there. And I feel like all four elements had at least a piece of this message. So this is the main message that I'm getting for all of us for this weekend. And you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. Hope you're all outside enjoying yourself, doing something fun. You know, we got to enjoy the moments in life whenever we can. And so when we get beautiful days like this, I'm outside enjoying it, for sure. And you know, let's stick together, let's get together, let's work together, and really lift our power for change that much higher, because I really feel like that is a very strong message as well that was coming through today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy seeing you all, and I will definitely, I don't care what well, you know, I don't want to say that, but I don't care what happens. I want to do a reading for the new moon, which is on the 6th, on Monday, I believe. Yeah, because today's 4th. Because that is a very powerful energy, along with a few other powerful energies. So, but we're prepared. We're being prepared. And, you know, give this world positive energy. This is what we got to do. The more of us, the better. So thank you for joining me. I love you guys all. Take good care. And I will be back soon. Bye.